Why did Kaido and King go to Marineford? According to the world government, it was because he wanted to take Whitebeard's head, but let's just be honest. How much can we trust what they say? What if I told you that Kaido and King went to Marineford because they thought that Ace was Joyboy and that it was the beginning of the final war, which many wise men always bring up? What if I also told you that other men such as Whitebeard and Shanks may have also believed that Ace was in fact Joyboy at a certain point in their life, but just like Kaido eventually came to the conclusion that it was in fact Luffy? Wizard of Oars here, and today we'll be discussing an ultimate Joyboy theory that I made on my previous channel about the downfall and expectation of a young man named Ace. I decided to remake the theory because it barely had any views and there's a ton of more new stuff that I wanted to put in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you enjoy crazy theories with even crazier connections. Thanks a lot guys, and now let's get into it. When Kaido defeated Luffy for the second time, he says, "You couldn't be Joyboy either, it seems." What does he mean by either? It seems as if he thought that someone else was Joyboy before he met Luffy. Now, many people used to think that he thought he himself could have been Joyboy, but I don't think that was ever the case. We learned through Kaido's flashbacks that he thought that Joyboy would be the one to defeat him. We also learned that he never knew about this legend of a man named Joyboy until King told him about it. He also mentions that Yamato even knows about it, which we the readers know she learned from Oden's journal. Another thing Kaido learned was that Oden was waiting for Joyboy's return to Wano. Every one of these things Kaido knows might be significant to the reason for him pulling up to Marineford. First of all, we saw how loud and proud Yamato was about her beliefs against her father. This is how she told Kaido about Joyboy, but she probably also told him other things as well. One of these things may have been that Ace would be the one to come and take his head. I mean, Ace did tell her himself that he was going to defeat Kaido and save the land of Wano. Kaido even most likely saw the dragon statue that Ace destroyed. Maybe this is when he first started questioning who Ace truly was. Who knows, Yamato may have even just straight up said that she believes Ace is Joyboy because it lines up with a lot of the prophecy in Oden's journal. First off, it's right around the 20-year timeline. Oden said that someone would come to save Wano in 20 years, and Ace said he's gonna return to save Wano within the 16 to 18-year timeline. This probably made Yamato think that he'd surely come around the 20-year mark with a much bigger army to save her and the land of Wano. She also knew of Ace's raw strain since she fought him herself. Ace also fits the description of the new generation of pirates since he was a young man who skyrocketed through the ranks. So now, going back to what Kaido believed, Kaido probably thought that out of any of the new generation of pirates, Ace would have the highest potential to defeat him and be Joyboy. Ace has the genes of the actual pirate king, the motivation and will to become a conqueror, and the backup of Whitebeard leading him to glory. Kaido probably thought everything was set up for this kid to succeed and be the Joyboy that King and Oden are waiting for. In my opinion, I can even see Kaido or King thinking even more highly of Ace if they knew that Joyboy is also the sun god. If they knew this, then they may have even thought that Ace's devil fruit had the ability of the sun god since it's literally fire. I could honestly see this happening since it seems that Kaido had no clue of the Nika fruit. As he was fighting Luffy, he kept wondering what Luffy was doing, if his fruit was even a paramecia, and what the heck this crazy transformation is that allows him to turn white and punch him through his eyeballs. Basically, Kaido had no idea what was going on and why the awakening of his fruit was so weird. Since Kaido didn't know about the existence of a Nika fruit or awakening, he may have thought that Ace best resembled Joyboy and the sun god itself. Now, the whole Kaido thinking Ace was the sun god too is more into the speculation of things, since we technically don't know if King knows about the existence of the sun god Nika or not, but I'm just throwing out all the possibilities. So now, with everything I've now explained, I wonder if Kaido and King headed to Marineford to save Ace because they thought he was Joyboy. As of right now, all we know about Kaido heading there is that it was him and King. We don't know if Queen went, the Toby Roppo, or even any of the Beast Pirates besides the captain and his right-hand man. First off, I just want to state how dope it would be to see Kaido and King flying over to Marineford without any ship or crew. Like, that's straight up something you'd see in a Berserk panel. Next, I'd like to point out that since it was only King and Kaido, it really does seem as if they were going for Joyboy. As of right now, it seems those two are the only Beast Pirates that are interested in the legend itself. On top of this, what if they weren't only going there for Ace, but what if they also wanted to see the beginning of the final war? In Oden's flashback, we see that at Laugh Tale, he learned about a massive war that will split the seas themselves. Not only this, but we've also seen other characters that learned what the One Piece is, bringing up how there will be a war or how the world will be flipped. Now, I'm not trying to say that Kaido knew what the One Piece was, but what if he also heard about the rumors of a prophecy that a world war will happen? What if he also thought that this war was starting to to take place at Marineford. I mean, there were some pretty huge names that were there, like Shanks, Whitebeard, Blackbeard, Mihawk, Doflamingo, the rest of the warlords, the admirals, and more. Maybe Kaido thought this could in some way be the return of the rocks, with him and Whitebeard going against the government just like the old days. I really do think there's a chance of this being true, since the first time we're introduced to Kaido, he screams out how he wants to start the greatest war that will destroy the world. I wonder where he got these inspirations and when he started this plan. Maybe he got this idea from rocks, or maybe from King. I mean, King already taught him about what Joyboy is, so I wouldn't be surprised if he also told him about the prophesized world war. There's still a lot of mysteries to Kaido's character, and I can't wait for Oda to show us his full backstory. Anyways, going back to Kaido going to Marineford for Ace, I believe he wasn't the only one who thought Ace was Joyboy for a period of time. I truly believe guys like Whitebeard, Shanks, Rayleigh, and Roger himself thought Ace had the potential to change the world. It seemed that Whitebeard wanted Ace to join his crew so he could make him the Pirate King. Sengoku even says that Whitebeard took Ace in before the world government could, so he could make that happen and so he could protect him. I mean, Whitebeard was even willing to die and put everyone's life on the line to save his son. I find it very interesting if Whitebeard believed Ace was Joyboy, because in Marineford I think he slowly began to realize that it was actually Luffy. In many of my theories I state how in Marineford, Whitebeard started to realize that what Roger told him wasn't just a folktale made by ancient men, but what he told him was in fact a real thing. Joyboy wasn't just some legend or myth. He saw it with his own eyes as Luffy screams in his face that he'll be the Pirate King, even when Whitebeard announces his most famous quote, "One Piece wa jitsuzai suru." He says before how just like there's those that carry Roger's will, someone will also carry on Ace's. In the future, someone carrying the weight of centuries of history on his shoulders will appear, find the One Piece, and destroy the world. He was 100% sure that this would happen because he saw the man that would do it with his own two eyes. Now this is important because there may be a few more parallels with people believing Ace was Joyboy until they met Luffy. Before discussing the next few parallels, including Shanks and Rayleigh, remember to like the video if you've liked even one thing that I've said so far. So what if Shanks also thought Ace was supposed to be Joyboy and not Luffy? A popular headcanon that goes way back in the community and that I've talked about on the channel is that what if Shanks went to Dawn Island to give the Nika fruit to Ace, but then Luffy accidentally ate it? In previous videos regarding Ace and Joyboy, I've mentioned how Shanks legit seemed upset when Luffy ate the fruit. Another big question that Preach has brought up in the channel is where was Ben Beckman during this scene? Preach made a great theory regarding why it's actually Ben Beckman's master plan to make Luffy Joyboy, and if you want to know more about it, then I'll leave the link in the description. If the Shanks pirates, or at least Shanks himself, wanted Luffy to eat the devil fruit, then why'd they all react the way they did? At this moment, I think Shanks realized the fate of Luffy, or at least what he could become, and then he knew for sure that he'd be the greatest pirate to ever exist. Maybe Shanks even gave Luffy the straw hat because he knew he would become the sun god Nika. Another thing with Shanks is that what if Shanks stopped Kaido from going to Marineford by convincing him that Ace wasn't Joyboy? What if he told him that he's 100% positive that it's not Ace because he saw it with his own eyes? When Shanks and his crew pull up to Marineford, they don't quite look like they've just fought another Yonko. They look clean and ready to start a war themselves. It doesn't seem that Kaido and Shanks clashed much, which would mean that Shanks somehow convinced him with words. Plus, every time Shanks meets a big figure in the world, he doesn't go to war with them. He's known for being more civil than most pirates, so I don't see why anything would change with Kaido. Yet again, it seems that Shanks is another character that thought Ace was Joyboy until seeing it with his own eyes. He believed Luffy was so special that he even tells everyone that he meets about him. I do believe Rayleigh and Roger also thought it'd be Ace, since Roger himself said that it'd be his own son to be the next Pirate King. Rayleigh may have realized that it wasn't Ace after meeting him and seeing that he wasn't the funny goofy boy that he read about at Laughtail. On the other hand, the second he met Luffy, he instantly sensed something different about him. He saw the legend with his own two eyes and realized that he even wanted to continue living to see what Luffy would end up doing. Just like the others, Rayleigh saw something different in Luffy and knew that he was the one that Roger was waiting for. So now this all brings us back to Kaido. Just like the rest of them, Kaido may have believed Ace was Joyboy or had a chance to be Joyboy, but once he saw Luffy, his mind and perspective was changed. I was also thinking, do you think there's a chance that Kaido overheard Zunisha say that Luffy is Joyboy? I mean, we don't know if he has the voice of all things or not, but he's the type of guy that would. Even if he didn't hear it straight from Zunisha, there's still a chance he could have heard it from Momo and Yamato. I think it'd be interesting if he somehow overheard their conversation. Either way, he still believes that Luffy is Joyboy now, since he was the one that defeated him. Now, all these men believed in Ace for very good reasons. I mean, let's just be honest, if Ace didn't die and was still alive, he'd probably be a Yonko right now. Whitebeard still would have most likely died at the war, so that would leave either Ace or Marco in complete command of the Whitebeard pirates. Marco may have taken it over at first, but I definitely think Ace would have eventually taken the title of a Yonko in the post-time skip if he did survive. Let's be real here, he was definitely stronger than Law, Kid, and Luffy in the pre-time skip. Already having Conqueror's Haki and a lot of skill with his fruit, he could have legitimately become one of the strongest men in the world post-time skip. I feel like Oda killing off Ace was good for development and plot for Luffy. But I also think he did it because if Ace never died, then Luffy may have never surpassed him. They may have been at the same level or strength, but it's kind of hard to pass someone who's about to enter the prime of their life, and when they have the genes of Goldie Roger. Just like how Luffy continuously gets stronger, the same thing would have most likely happened to Ace. The only thing separating the two would be that Luffy's fruit seems to be a lot better, but the recent confirmation of Roger not having a fruit makes it seem that Haki is more important. I don't see a single way that Ace doesn't develop into getting some of the strongest Haki feats in the series, since he's a conqueror just like Luffy and also has the motivation to take down the biggest names in the world. It truly is sad that Ace had to die the way he did, because he would have been a big help for Luffy and the whole world in general. I definitely see how characters could have believed in Ace so much, but the reality is that he's just not that guy. Even Ace himself knows that Luffy is different, as he always brings him up, always tells people how he's gonna be a legendary man, and even believes that Luffy will accomplish his dream. Luffy is the real Joyboy that everyone has been waiting for. With everything I've now explained, this pretty much wraps up why I believe Kaido went to Marineford and how many thought that Ace was Joyboy. What do you guys think? Do you think he went there to fight Whitebeard like how the Marines said, or do you actually think he was trying to fight with Whitebeard to save Ace? Feel free to comment whatever you think and whatever you feel. If you've liked anything out of this video, then please remember to like it and even share it with a friend. Also, subscribe to the channel if you like One Piece videos like this, because I can promise that there are many more great theories that are planned on the way. Thanks a lot for watching, and please remember to have a great day.